Please be seated. We are to resume at 3:30. Can I read out on behalf of Mr. Albert Chan? Yes. Let's resume. I received a motion proposed by Mr. Albert Chan. I received a total of 5 motions. And I asked around, and no other members had motions to propose. I considered these 5 motions moved without notice. They are all directly related to the item being discussed on the agenda. Right now, I will put this item to the vote. We agree to deal with the motions proposed by Mr. Albert Chan. Can Mr. Ray Chan read them out first? A division is claimed by Mr. Albert Chan. The division bell will ring for 5 minutes. Please read them out. In accordance with Rule 32A of the PWSC rules, myself, in other words, Mr. Albert Chan, proposes that since there's a cost overrun of $5.4 billion for the AZMB HKBCF Superstructures and Reclamation, and the cost of the overrun is that there are few major infrastructure projects at the same time, which led to an increase in construction material costs and salaries. We request the government to shelve the Hong Kong boundary crossing facilities reclamation and superstructures immediately, and we should wait until the Hong Kong section of XLL and the Sha Tin Central Link is completed, and and until then they can resume the project in order to contain the cost overrun. Do we agree to deal with the motion which is displayed on the screen? We have a total of 5 motions. This is the first one. As far as I know, no other members want to propose any motions according to Rule 32A.
現在開始表決。
Voting begins. Before I announce the results, please verify your votes. Voting ends. The results are as shown. We have 25 attending members, 6 in favor, 18 against, no abstention. The motion is negatived. Next, Mr. Kwok-Him. According to Rule 47 of the PWSC rule, for when voting for similar items in the past, members must cast a vote within 1 minute. Mr. Yu Kwok-Him proposes a motion. Any members wish to speak? 3 minutes, please. Mr. Leung Kwok-Hong. I'm against this practice because if the time is too short, mistakes might be made. The director said it's the name of the contractor is generally not disclosed. Well, of course, before the tender result is out, of course, it shouldn't be disclosed. But after the tendering is finished, the only reason is that he doesn't want to disclose it to the PWSC, and the reason is that this meeting is public. They don't want to give out any names. But as a public, or as a civil servant, this is very bad practice. Even if they don't disclose the name, I can check it. And it's a listed company. Mr. Leung Kwok-Hong, this is irrelevant to the duration of the division bell. Please speak. Please stick to the topic. Some people have very low EQs. For example, Ms. Yun, then they might make mistakes. So the duration makes a big difference. We need enough time to vote. We cannot just force it through. So I propose the bell to ring for 5 minutes. Well, even multiplying by 5, it's only 25 minutes. Well, they expect the meeting to last till 5 p.m., right? So there's no reason to rush. If the director has a few more seconds, maybe he won't come up with such a blatant lie. This information is public anyway, and now he's saying that he won't disclose any names, so he's being bureaucratic. If he has 2 more minutes, perhaps he would give a better answer, and perhaps Mr. Yao, the undersecretary, would ask him to give the name anyway. Stanley Ying has already infuriated the public, and now we are seeing a repeat. So, Mr. Yip, that's not the way to go. And by allowing everyone a few more minutes, then everyone would have, you'll make life easier. The meeting will last till 5 p.m. anyway. You would, Chairman, we have to be, level-minded. So 5 minutes is the ideal mark. Mr. Albert Chan, 3 minutes speech, please. 1 minute and 5 minutes are different. We need time to look at the motions and look at internet information on the internet and so on. If we have 5 minutes, then we can take a look at the information. Now, just now I found that there's a company called China Harbor Engineering Corporation, which is a subsidiary of China Overseas Construction, and there's another contractor called China Construction was involved for some projects. China Harbor Engineering And there's another contractor called Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macao Bridge, BCF. Well, another company associated with such works, and for China Harbor Engineering Corporation, China Construction, and we have another company called Wai Sheng Associates. So these are information I dug up just now, and I didn't have time to look into the details yet. And there seemed to be a very clear division of work. It's like the Legislative Council. There's collusion, and under the lead of C.Y. Leung, there's collusion at every level. On an engineering level, it's divided up among different companies for projects suffering a cost overrun. The tender prices were way higher than the anticipated cost, so we have to make things clear. So this is what I've seen over the past few minutes. If I'm given more time, we might find even more. One of those companies was once prosecuted due to bribery in 2013. And they were suspected to be involved in bribery. You should look into those matters. You have to see whether that was related to the cost overrun. You cannot support everything the Chinese corporations did. We are talking about taxpayers' money, and we are talking about tens and hundreds of billions of dollars. So we should not allow the taxpayers' money to go to waste. Mr. Ray Chan, 3 minutes. Chairman, you drew the line to stop members from asking further questions. I did not agree with that. The reason is that the meeting today would last till 5 p.m. Right now, it's not even 4 yet. Of course, the chairman might expect a lot of motions on 32A, and as such, we would not be able to vote on it. But even if a lot of people raise motions under 32A, there's still a limited number. If you stop us from asking questions before 4 p.m., it's not appropriate. And this is related to the duration of the division bell. We moved a motion to adjourn the meeting, and the result was 18 to 14, and we failed. But when you look at the makeup of this subcommittee, we have 48 members, and 19 pan-Democrats and 28 from the pro-establishment camp, excluding the chairman. And if all the pan-Democrats were here, we had the chance to negative this motion. Perhaps some members did not come back ahead of time, and if the division bell rings for 5 minutes, then we can delay the vote till almost 5 p.m. So I urge the pan-Democrats to come back, and if the duration of the bell is only 1 minute, then we would have to vote on the project very soon. Sometimes some members might not be able to return on time. We are not saying that we cannot negative the item, and because even so they can bypass the PWSC and go directly to the Finance Committee. We have had precedents. But no matter the results, if all 19 pan-Democrats here and we only have 18 people from the pro-Beijing camp here, we might still have a chance. Even if we fail, at least those who have been against the motion, the item should come back and vote against it. We only have 4 more motions proposed under 32A, and if we have 5 minutes, and we have time to deal with it. And whether So members who want to vote, please come back as soon as possible.
I, of course, agree that we should stick to the 5 minutes. And with that, we may still be able to finish this item before 5. Mr. Wong Kok Heng, Chairman. I don't need 3 minutes. I support Mr. Yip Kok Him's motion. What the other few members are saying are actually ridiculous. I think the paper has explained clearly that this proposal had already been endorsed by the Transport Panel on the 16th of January this year, when today is the 19th of December 2015. So I think almost a year has passed, and now we are reaching the final moment. I therefore believe that it is not necessary for us to delay this any further. Even if we give our approval today, we still need to go to the FC. There's more delay yet to come. To say that there's no time for members to ask questions and to claim that you don't understand, it's actually a delaying tactic. So I therefore think that we should support Mr. Yip Kok Him's motion, and we shouldn't delay this any further. I will now put the motion to the vote. Will all those in favor of the motion put up their hands? No, a division has been claimed, so the division bell will ring for 5 minutes.
現在要表決嘅咧就係
We need to vote, and voting will begin 1 minute from now.
好，現在進行表決。
We will now proceed to the vote. Before I announce that voting, the poll is closed, please cast your vote. The poll is now closed. We will display the results. We have 25 members present. We have 7 in favor, 7 against. I declare that the motion is carried. We will now move on to the second motion, moved pursuant to 32A. Mr. Chen Chi-chin. Are you claiming a division? Yes. Please read out the motion. The division bell will ring for 1 minute. The PWSC demands that the authorities should call for a new tender for the drainage works and can only select those contractors who can undertake to complete the project below the cost of $500 million in order to reduce the cost overrun for the BCF project and ensure that taxpayer public funds are properly used.
好，而家進行表決。喺我宣布停。
Voting begins. Before I announce the voting is closed, please cast your votes. So we'll now display the results. We have 23 members present, 6 in favor, 16 against, no abstention. I declare that the motion is not carried. Next, we move on to the next resolution. Mr. Chen Chi-chin, are you also claiming a division? Okay, the bell will ring for 1 minute. This committee demands that the government must contain the cost for the construction of the viaduct and the elevated bridge to below $3 billion in order to reduce the cost overrun and ensure the tax monies are appropriately used.
如果有項目通過嘅話咧，我其實都會。
If any project needs to be approved, I would ask members whether or not you would like to claim a division.
現在進行表決。
Voting begins. Before I announce that voting stops, please check the vote that you have cast. The poll is now closed. I will display the result. We have 24 members present, 7 in favor, 16 against. I declare that the motion is not carried. We now move on to the fourth resolution. Mr. Chen Chi-chin, again you are asking for a division. The bell will ring for 1 minute. Mr. Leung Ko-hong did not switch on his microphone. I would demand once again that in case the funding were approved, I would demand that members be invited to answer questions when this is deliberated by the FC. This committee demands that we should call for a new tender for the. We should take back all the withdraw. Cancel the contract with China Harbour Engineering in respect of the BCF facilities, call for new tender, and should have at least 3 contractors in order that the same project will not be undertaken by a single contractor.
唔緊要。現在進行表決。喺我宣布停止表決之前，請各位核對你所作表決。好，現在停止表決，顯示點票結果。
Display the result now. We have 26 members present, 8 in favor, 17 against, and no abstention. I declare that the motion is not carried. We now move on to the 5th motion. Mr. Chen Chi-chin, you're also claiming a division. The bell will ring for 1 minute. This committee demands that the administration should, together with the ICAC, immediately conduct a comprehensive and in-depth investigation against China Harbour Engineering Limited to ensure that the projects for the BCF, sorry, please. So in case that there is, to confirm that there is no corruption, before we will continue with the superstructure, construction of superstructure at the BCF. So, voting begins. Before I announce the closing of the poll, please verify the vote that you have cast. Please stop voting now. We will display the result. We have 26 members present, 8 in favor, 17 against, and 0 abstention. I declare that the motion is not carried. I will now put this proposal to the vote. Will all those who are in favor of the proposal put up your hands? Okay, you claim a division. So the division bell will ring for 1 minute.
各位，現在係就 PWSC
Members, we are voting on paper PWSC 2015-16-14 on 845TH Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macao Bridge, Hong Kong Boundary Crossing Facilities, Reclamation and Superstructures, and we are voting on this item. Voting begins. Before I announce the results, please verify your votes. Voting is closed. The results are as shown. We have 29 members in presence, 17 against, 17 in favor, 8 against, and the item is passed. The item we just passed will be submitted to the Finance Committee on the 8th of January, and and a division has been requested. And the next meeting will be held on 8:30 on 23rd of December. Meeting's adjourned.